First off, our mission, Measure Results, is to help our clients pay as little tax as legally possible and stay out of trouble, with a big emphasis on staying out of trouble. So we like to do a lot of proactive tax planning. We work with only business owners because we feel like, as Ray Dalio, who founded the largest hedge fund in America, says, he values meaningful work and meaningful relationships. We try to embody that ourselves as well and only work with people we can make a difference for. That ends up being business owners. We're a firm of about 13 people right now in Northern California, primarily focused on helping people pay less tax. So towards the end of 2016, my partner and father, who's also my father, attended a seminar where they kind of discussed, it was discussing the future of the industry and where the modern firms were going. And one of the big discussion points was that everything was getting updated through technology and going on the cloud. And they had mentioned at that seminar that you could potentially experience as much as 40% increase in efficiency by switching to a cloud-based accounting software like QuickBooks Online. And we really didn't have a whole lot of clients on QBO at that point in time, but we heard that number and it just seemed like it could make sense. So we took a few test clients that we knew were flexible, a little more forward thinking, converted them to QuickBooks Online, then a couple new clients as well. And then we found that the clients that we had on QuickBooks Online, we were servicing a lot more effectively. We were spending less time on our end just on the tedious stuff of the back and forth with different versions, and really did experience that increase in efficiency. And so we decided to just go all in and start converting all of our clients, and actually made it so that new clients we take on, we have to charge more because of the loss in efficiency. And as far as what surprised us the most was that it actually did increase the efficiency that much. It was remarkable, like not having to worry about version controls. And then if the client, you send out the accountant's change copies and then the client doesn't import them, then we're having to tie out the books next year. It really was surprising how much efficiencies were created by using QBO. No more accountant's copies. As I mentioned in a previous answer, on one of the surprising things, just the efficiencies of not having to ask for the accountant's copy, get it, take a half hour to download it, check it to last year's numbers, make sure it ties, and then it doesn't because they didn't import the changes, and then going back and saying, okay, make these changes, resend them. Just being able to click a button and toggle between clients is so much easier. It really is amazing. Like it's funny now, all of our fee earners, the staff that work on the actual books, it's almost like QB Desktop's a bad word in the firm because of the the different, compared to QBO, it's just so much easier just clicking, going from client A to client B, and you're there in 3 seconds instead of all the different download things you have to do. And then also it helps us serve our clients better. So that click back and forth between clients, number one, allows us to, if someone calls in, we can be in their books instantly. The other part of it is they're looking at the exact same set of books that we're looking at. So now we can give them feedback in real time to help them make better decisions, number one. And number two, if it's a training issue where they're wondering how to do something in QuickBooks, we can be looking at the same set of books and just give them better information. So it's not only improved our efficiencies, it's helped us serve our clients better. And that's been awesome for the firm. I think probably the biggest positive feedback we get is the ability to take pictures of receipts. I know we harp on them for documentation with all these technologies that are out there. The IRS is getting stricter with it. So having the ability to take a picture of the receipt while they're spending that money, and then it attaches to the expense in their QuickBooks, has saved them a bunch of time and helps them to sleep better at night, frankly, because they know that they're taking proper documentation and it's not a hassle, and they don't have what I like to call the shoebox of death at the end of the year, which that shoebox makes tax time always horrible. And so they're happier to see us because they don't have to gather that shoebox. It's done in real time. And then the other part is just the increased service that I mentioned before of being able to, when they call up, we're both looking at the same set of books. That's a value to them because we now make a decision with their numbers while we're on the phone if it's a quick question, rather than guessing at what their numbers might be or if they're reading it right or not. So they love the improved service, but then especially the receipt picture taking functions. We're fortunate enough to have a relatively young, and then certainly for those who aren't young at heart, mix of staff and team members. And so willing to just take that dive and try something new. So when we came back from that seminar that I mentioned earlier, we said, let's give this a try, went for it. And then really from there, it was just a matter of, I would say within the next 4 to 6 months, we had 70% of our clients on QuickBooks Online, and now probably 90%. And so it really the proof was in the pudding. We took a leap, put a few clients on there, and realized that it was great. And then it was all downhill from there. And then, as a result, as far as buy-in, the results have spoke for themselves. Our last 2 tax seasons in a row, we've experienced over 50% growth. The first one last year, from 2016 to 17, we were 53% up with the same exact team from the year before. So, that was really the key change. So that was enough for buy-in right there, definitely. Really, we kind of just explained the benefits of everything that we've covered so far. And most of them, as I mentioned, said, okay, let's give it a go. I would say the biggest pushback we got were, number one, I'm used to it. I like my desktop. And those people that are more resistant to change. And so when we kind of explained the efficiencies and how it's going to save them on accounting fees, that was an easy hurdle because we're going to have to charge them more for the lack of efficiency. The other pushback was, kind of related to fees, was that desktop, they had purchased it, and so they had paid for the big chunk, and they didn't have to renew it, whereas QuickBooks Online was a regular recurring cost. But again, when we explained that it's going to save them accounting fees, and then all the other benefits of receipt scanning features, that if they were to sign up for another app that did that, basically that's the same cost as QuickBooks Online, and it does it within the app. And the fact that they can be sitting at the car wash on their phone and know what their month-to-date and their year-to-date numbers are, and actually start making real financial decisions with their numbers rather than just filling it out once a year. Once we explained those benefits, then they started converting. We still have a few people that are hanging back because maybe where they live, the internet's not so good or something along those lines, but for the most part, everyone's made the switch. Take the leap is what I like to say. Just do it. I would say when you're starting out, especially if you've got all of your clients on desktop and you're not super familiar with QuickBooks Online yet, pick a few clients that are more forgiving, a little more, that are okay with working through things with you. Convert them to QuickBooks Online. Work out your kinks with those clients that you know are already good fans of you. And I'm confident you'll realize the improvement in efficiencies and service on that, and then want to roll it out to the rest of the clients. And then as far as making the conversion to the rest of your clients that are on desktop, every opportunity you get, just mention it. So when you're delivering returns at tax time, bring it up. It's going to take a little bit convincing for some clients, but it's worth it in the long run. We had one client that was super resistant and then ended up, for some reason, there was a version issue and she couldn't open her desktop, so we converted it, and she was singing the praises of the QBO, so even some of the resistant clients will end up loving it. It saved her a bunch of time. So take that leap. I think you'll be surprised at the lack of resistance. And then for those that are resistant, just keep bringing it up and keep moving it on, because the higher percentage of clients you have on QBO, speaking from someone who's gone from almost none to almost all, it gets more and more efficient the more clients you have on it. So just go for it. We're 2018, depending on when you're watching this, it might be later than that, but we're in a cloud world. So your clients will appreciate that you're forward thinking and getting ahead of the curve rather than reacting and being behind the curve. So go for it.